Welcome to episode 4 of the Sensible Stitcher podcast. My name is Deb, and I'd like to welcome anyone who's coming back. We're on the 4th episode. I still don't know if anyone's watching, but that's okay. If you're new here, which probably anybody will be, thank you for checking me out, and I hope you like what you are about to see. I am a knitter, crocheter, sewer. I live in West Michigan and in the United States. I'm married with 3 kids, and yeah, this podcast is about me and the things that I craft and my Etsy shop, The Sensible Stitcher, where I sell project bags, a few stitch markers here and there, some scrunchies, and anything else that sounds interesting to try and make and sew. In any case, today we're going to have a couple of finished objects. Yay! We're going to have things that I'm still working on, some stash enhancement, and just some life update. So let's get started. Finished objects. I have 2 this week. I know, I feel like I went a long time without any finished objects. Not that you would have seen, because we're only 4 episodes into the podcast, but I feel like I've been finishing things lately, which is kind of fun. So this is the first one. This is the traveler hat that I showed last time that I had started. It is, the pattern is by Casey de Crozier. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope so. And the yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners Fleece DK in the brown colorway. I really like how this turned out. It has been blocked. I blocked it on a balloon, which is the way she suggested, and I do like blocking hats that way. And it really opened these cables up. I really like how those look. I will try it on. Maybe it fits more like a beanie, although you can, let's see, you can wear it a little slouchy. Kind of pull it back like this. Wear it kind of slouchy. I know I don't look great in hats. I have a lot of hair. It's kind of hard to get a hat to fit on them, but I like making hats. I don't always wear a lot of hats, but I'm hoping to change that because I have some hats that I really like and would really like to wear. So anyway, hat done. I really like it. Finished object number 2, which you have also seen before, the Dark and Stormy socks for my friend Christy. Oh, I didn't grab sock blockers. Well, if you guys will hold on a second. I have them in my cupboard here. I will just throw one on so you can get a look at it. I was not prepared. All right, so to tell you a little bit about these socks, there we go. Now, sock blocked. These haven't been blocked. They are a gift, but I have finished them. I've woven in ends. I have not blocked them or gifted them, obviously, since they are here. This is for my friend Christy, sport weight yarn. This is from Fibernyph Dyeworks in her Traveler base, and the colorway is Dark and Stormy, thus why I'm calling them my Dark and Stormy socks. Put that over here. So yes, they are both done. They will be blocked and gifted soon. And those went really fast, but again, they're sport weight, so that would make sense. All right. Current knitting projects, works in progress. Let's show this one first because I had almost half a skein of the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn left after I finished the Traveler hat. I think I used like 51 grams out of the 100 gram skein. So I thought I would knit another hat with it, which made a lot of sense. So I started knitting the glass ceiling hat by Jennifer Lassonde of Downseller Studio podcast, and she's Jennifer Lassonde Designs. So as you'll see, it's 2 color, and I'll explain that in a second. So this is the bottom color here, the brown. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners Fleece DK that I made the other hat out of. You can kind of see, try and spread it apart a little bit so you can see that kind of cool stitch that's in this hat pattern. I got about to this point in the hat and realized that I was not going to have enough yarn. Um, so I had a couple of different options. I could have just ripped it out and used the yarn for something else. I didn't want to do that because I kind of really like how this fabric feels with this yarn. So the other options I could think of, I went through my stash and I didn't really find anything that would work well to go with the fleece DK. So I made a trip to my local yarn store last week. I had to go actually for the Dark and Stormy socks. Um, the needle broke while I was working on those. I was using a Knitter's Pride Nova Platina Cubic needle in size 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. Sorry, I forgot to say that earlier. But yeah, the it's a fixed circular and the needle broke right at the join. So I took it into my local yarn shop and they exchanged it for me. And while I was there, I found this yarn here, which is Plymouth Yarn Galway Sport. And so one is a sport and one is a DK. This is the sport, this is the DK, but they seem to be working really well together. I know the fleece DK is a Blueface Leicester, a BFL yarn, and this is not, I believe, I'm not sure if it's merino. I think it's merino, but they're both non-superwash yarns and they seem to be working really well together. I really like how those two are going. So my plan is, I guess I haven't decided for sure yet. I have worked my way almost through all of the repeats before starting the crown decreases, and I think I want to make this a little bit slouchier of a hat, so I think I'm going to add an extra repeat in here. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just make it a two-tone hat and just have the brown on the bottom and this kind of cream on the top, or if I'm going to just make this a stripe and then finish off the crown decreases in the fleece DK. I did rip back, like I said, I was about to here with the fleece DK. I ripped back to the beginning of that, or tanked back to the beginning of that pattern repeat and then did it just in the second color. So I do have enough of the brown left to do the crown decreases if I want to. So I figure I'll do the one more pattern repeat that I want to do and then kind of decide if I want to leave it two-tone. I'm kind of leaning towards leaving it two-tone at this point rather than striped, but we'll see how I feel when I get to that point. So the second color of yarn is it is the Plymouth Galway Sport yarn in colorway 722. I'm not sure what color that is, but 722. It's kind of a heathery cream color. So yeah, that is moving along now. Oh, and the stitch markers for these are Adornit. Most of the stitch markers, if they aren't ones that I have made, I use Adornit, and I'm looking for, there we go, the cute little house. This is her, she's a pro shop sponsor for the Downseller Studios Pigskin Party, and this is her item that she made, the stitch marker set specific to the Pigskin Party this year. So get extra points for using those, and they are really cute too. So, and again, this is in a prototype bag that I made for my simple sock bag. So it's just kind of funky material. I used whatever I had left, and there's no cord lock on it, just a bead. But it's a bag, and it works well. It holds what it needs to. So that is the first project to show you. The second project is one you've seen before. This is the Robin socks. Again, this is West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. This is the Robin colorway from their Country Birds yarns that they have. And I was about to the heels last time you saw this, and I delayed working on them a little bit. I was really hoping that they would have a red that would match this red, so that I could do the heels in red, because I thought that would really pop. And while I had a skein, the Cayenne Pepper colorway in West Yorkshire Spinners from a previous pair of socks that I did, it was a much pinker red and lighter red. It did not match this red at all. So I went on the Woolly Thistle website. That's where I get my West Yorkshire Spinners yarn if I don't buy it at our local yarn shop. And saw that there was another red colorway, the Cherry Drop colorway, that they had listed with their Christmas colorways for the West Yorkshire Spinners. So little iffy not being able to see the color in person, but I thought, well, it looks darker than the cayenne pepper colorway, so we'll, go with it. So I ordered it, and it is still not the right color of red. I don't have it over here to show you guys, sorry, but it is still a lighter red. In fact, I think it's in, it is in here. My cupboard, sorry for, I keep having to reach in the cupboard. So these are the two reds. And hopefully you can see on screen. This is a very bright, vibrant red, and this is kind of a duller red. It's a nice red, and I maybe could have made it work. I showed my husband, Ron, and he, who never has an opinion about anything I ask him knitting-wise, said, no, those are two different reds. So I did not use this. I will use it in something else. I have some other colorways in West Yorkshire Spinners. So I ended up just using the yarn, not using a contrasting color for the heels. And actually it did come out, I don't know if you can see here. So this is where I stopped. This is where the repeats left off when I started the heel, was right after this kind of dark brown color, just going into the kind of patterning there. And at the end of the heel, it just started that brown color. So it used almost one full color repeat to do the heel. So I'll do just a very little bit of color management there. Essentially just pull out the rest of this brown here and restart it in that pattern section after the brown. So the heels are in. I just need to do that bit of color management, and then I can work my way up the leg. These socks again are my typical 80 stitches. Yes, 80 stitches. As I've said before, I have wide feet and I do not like tight socks. So that is, I do most of my socks 80 stitches on a size 1 2.25 millimeter needle. And this was a German short row heel by the Knitting Expat with her mini heel flap adjustment. So that is those socks. They are coming along. Hopefully we'll be done soon, because I lost a good week and a half waiting for the red yarn to get here. So those didn't get worked on. The last project that I have to show you is my Aptika sweater. And it's been in a little bit of a timeout. Not that I've made a mistake on it necessarily, but here it is. I think I put a few more rows on it since you last saw it, but I just feel like it's looser. I feel like the gauge has gotten looser as I've gone down. I don't know if you can see that, but what really has been kind of frustrating me with this sweater, in the underarm section right here, it has a purl stitch, so it's got this kind of purl row running down, and this is the one side here, and then the other side, this is where your beginning of round is. And so I've been alternating yarns, and I guess it looks better now than it does in the dark when I've been working on it on the couch at night. But I just hadn't been liking how that was looking with the alternating yarns. It just looked messy to me. So now that I'm looking at it in better light, that's actually not bothering me nearly as much. So I may just keep working on it. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I think the loose gauge worry that I have, I think that'll kind of even out in blocking. So honestly, looking at this again, I'm much happier with it than I was the last time I looked at it. So I think it's going to come out of timeout and start getting worked on again. So yeah, that's exciting. Sorry, dropped the bag, so I had to reach down and grab that. So that is the Aptika sweater by Isabel Kramer, and I am making this in Malabrigo Arroyo yarn, and the colorway is, oh, do I have that in here? Reflecting Pool is that. And I'm making it on size 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter. And again, Adorn It. The stitch markers that I'm using are from Adorn It. All right, so that is all of the knitting content. We can move into some sewing content. I had made a couple of bags. I had some yarn, fabric that I had bought. I'm getting into Christmas fabrics now, Christmas designs. And I really like this fabric, but I did not buy nearly enough of it, apparently. So this is the fabric here. This is one of my simple sock bags. This is the outer fabric, and then the interior fabric has these little decorated Christmas trees. I really, really like these two fabrics. It's like Christmas trees on a Christmas tree lot, and the little vintage pickup truck taking the tree home, and then you've got a sleigh with some presents in it, and a snowman and the snowflakes. I really like that. It's kind of simple and vintagey feeling. I had enough, I'd only bought enough fabric to make one of the simple sock bags, so this is in the shop now. And then I made one of my zippered bags, so this is also in the shop. And I made a little stitch progress keeper zipper pull with a little tree on it to match. And like my newer zipper bags, this does have the interior pocket, which is in a solid green, the inside of the pocket there. And yeah, so I had one of these in the shop, the two fabrics together, and again, it's lined with that decorated tree fabric. And then lastly, with this fabric, I made two of the small, like notions pouches, zipper pouches. So again, it's got the same fabric, lining fabric on the inside. And yeah, so there are two of these in the shop as well. Those turned out really cute. I really like this fabric. Wish I had more of it. I think I got it at a quilt shop, but I can't remember for sure, so I'm not able to get more of it at this point. Oops, sorry. There are, let me reach over here, some bags in progress without messing it up too much here. These are some of the simple sock bags. They're going to be in this fabric here, Christmas trees. And then this will be the lining fabric here. Kind of cool designs there, just Christmassy. So those are in progress and should be in the shop soon in the next few days. All right, so stash enhancement. I actually had quite a bit of that compared to usual because this past weekend was my birthday. My husband asked me what I wanted, and there really wasn't anything that I needed, so, and I was going to be traveling, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to try out a new yarn store or two. So first, my first trip to the yarn store was, again, I went to my local yarn store, Country Needleworks, in Jenison, Michigan, to replace those needles from the Dark and Stormy socks. And then I bought that skein of the Plymouth Galway for the glass sailing hat. I also bought, I'm going to be participating in the Imagine Landscapes, her newest, or her gnome MCAL coming up. Sarah Shira is the designer name, and she does a lot of gnome patterns, and I've seen them all over, all over Ravelry and Instagram and Facebook, and they had a whole bunch of samples of hers at Country Needleworks when I was there. They're so cute. Been wanting to make one of them, so I thought that this mystery gnome knit along that she's doing in December would be a lot of fun. So I signed up for that and purchased the pattern, which is right now it's just pre-pattern notes. It's a mystery knit along, so the clues will come out throughout December leading up to Christmas. One of the suggested dyers that she had for this was Emma's yarn, which I believe out of Florida. It's two sisters who dye yarn, and I've seen their yarn at Country Needleworks before when I've been there, but I hadn't bought any of it before, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to try it out. So I purchased these four minis to make my gnome. You're supposed to, the first two are supposed to kind of set the color palette. The third color is supposed to pop. And then the fourth color is for like beard and such. So I haven't decided yet between these three. I don't know if a variegated kind of speckled yarn is good for one of the two main colors. If not, then I'll use the brown and then use this one for the beard and such. I'm kind of leaning that way right now. And then this will be the color pop. And these are, oh, I guess one of these isn't. This one is ridiculous hand-dyed yarn. I didn't even notice that when I bought it. The rest of these, the other three, are Emma's yarn. And I don't think she has colorway names on, that they have colorway names on here at all. Oh, this one says Kisses. This one says Crazy Beautiful Color. And this one also says Crazy Beautiful Color, so I'm not sure. And this one is a one-of-a-kind Addie Mini in fingering weight from Ridiculous Hand-Dyed Yarns. So yeah, those are my gnome palette. So that's upcoming. And then after Country Needleworks on Saturday, which was my actual birthday, I had to head over to Detroit for marching band state finals at Ford Field. So I looked along my route and found a yarn store in Brighton, Michigan that wasn't too far off the freeway. So that was the Unwind Yarn Shop in Brighton. So I stopped there and bought some yarn. Sorry for the reach. They, as I discovered when I got there, this is also the Southeast Michigan shop hop for yarn. So they had a form to fill out and they were giving away some prizes if you bought a certain amount of yarn. So actually that was kind of fun to participate in, unknowingly. But what I purchased there, I bought 3 skeins of this yarn. Sorry for the bag rustling. This is Variations DK by Friendly Products, which I had never heard of before. Oops. There we go. It's 100% Australian Merino, and I love this orange color. It was just calling to me. Not sure why or what I will do with it. I'm thinking maybe a hat, but I just could not leave that behind. And then I also purchased 2 colors. My 2 older children both go to the University of Michigan, so I had to get some maize and blue. Make something. Probably not for either of them. I have made them each a hat that they currently have in other colors. If I will ask them, see if maybe if either of them wants a hat in U of M colors, may make it for me. Not sure yet. Not sure what pattern yet, but I know that this will be a hat. Probably a color work hat of some sort. And then the other yarns I purchased are the Fiber Company Acadia. There's the tag there. This is really soft. It is, let's see, 60% wool, 20% alpaca, 20% silk, 145 yards and 50 grams. And the gray has this kind of little nubby stuff in it. And then this beautiful kind of dark red, maroon, burgundy type color. This will probably also be a hat or maybe a cowl. Actually, yeah, so this will, it's very drapey feeling. So hat or cowl, probably maybe a 2-color shawl. I haven't really decided yet. So my free gift that I got for purchasing yarn there, I ended up picking out, they had a bin of things that you could choose from. So I picked out these little snips, folding snips from Knitter's Pride. They're the Mindful collection. So those are nice and sturdy and rather pretty. So I was kind of happy to have those. All right, put these back. So that was my first yarn store stop on Saturday on my way to Detroit. Then I guess I'll go a little bit into life update and tell you about the rest of my weekend. So drove to Detroit, watched marching bands all afternoon, which was fun. Our marching band came in flight 2, they came in 4th out of 10, which is about where we expected to be. They had their best score of the season. there was less than a point difference between second, third, and fourth place. So, I mean, they did really well. I was really proud of them. Becca had a lot of fun. They perform at Ford Field, so they get to perform on the professional football field, and it's pretty exciting. So afterwards, I checked Becca out from her bus, and being my birthday, we wanted to eat. I grew up in the Detroit area. I don't know downtown Detroit very well. It's been a long time since I've lived over there, so I wasn't really sure what restaurants were around. Becca tends to be a very picky eater, so I know she likes Logan's Roadhouse. So we Google mapped where there was a Logan's Roadhouse. There were a couple that had closed permanently, but we found one in Southgate, which was kind of way out of our way from where we needed to head for our hotel, which was in Livonia. But you know what? It worked, so we weren't in a hurry. It was like 5:30 in the evening at that point, so we drove down to the Logan's Roadhouse, and we had about a half-hour wait when we got there. But the food was good, and the company was good, because I got to spend time with Becca. And then after we were done eating, we drove to the hotel, hung out there, relaxed. It was a nice, spacious hotel room. So yeah, it was pretty comfortable. We brought bathing suits in case we wanted to go in the pool, but she was tired. I was tired just from watching bands all day, and she was tired. Obviously, it had been a really long day for her, so we just kind of hung out. Then on Sunday, we drove to Ann Arbor and picked up the two older kids, and then drove to Ypsilanti, which is just outside of Ann Arbor, where my brother lives. And we had brunch with all three of my kids, my brother and his girlfriend. So that was a lot of fun. It was really nice to catch up. I hadn't seen my middle daughter, Hannah, since I had seen her briefly when I had to stop. We had dinner when I picked Finn up for fall break, but that was a month ago now. So got to see her and hear about her trip to New York that she had done over fall break. My youngest daughter, Becca, had not seen Hannah since she went away to school. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun to catch up. We had dinner at a restaurant called Aubrey's in Ypsilanti that we really like. They just kind of have pizza, which my kids will eat pizza. All three of them tend to be picky. But yeah, so did brunch, and then said goodbye to my brother and his girlfriend, and drove back to Ann Arbor, and we parked at my oldest child's dorm, Finn, went in and met Finn's roommate. I've met Finn's roommate before, but Hannah and Becca had not met their roommate before or seen their dorm room. So we got to see Finn's dorm room. Then we walked across campus to Hannah's dorm. It's a beautiful day. It was a gorgeous day in the 60s, sunny, just absolutely gorgeous, fall colors all over campus. It was such a nice day for a walk. So we walked over to Hannah's dorm, went in, saw Hannah's dorm room, which I hadn't seen in person before, all set up. I mean, we moved her in, but obviously she hadn't unpacked at that point. But we met Hannah's roommate. So then we left Hannah there, walked back to Finn's dorm, said goodbye to Finn, and then Becca and I drove into downtown Ann Arbor and parked, and then went to a few stores that she wanted to go to. Vault of Midnight is one. It's like a comic book, gaming type store in Ann Arbor, which is really fun. So we went there. And then we went to Dawn Treader Bookshop, which is a used bookstore, which I've always been able to find books for her there. She had a couple that she specifically wanted to look for. We found one of them, so she got that. And then we went and got her some ice cream at Ben & Jerry's at Finn's recommendation. And then we stopped by the yarn store that I've been to before in Ann Arbor. It's called Spun, and I really like that. It's in Kerrytown, that neighborhood in Ann Arbor. And when we got there, they happened to be having their Sunday artisan market, which I did not know about, so that was kind of a nice surprise. We parked at the farmer's market, which is right by where Spun is located, and the artisan market right there. So I wandered around the artisan market a little bit. I did buy one thing, and if I can reach over here. I will find it and show it to you. I bought a magnet, this really pretty magnet, and the artist who painted it, her name is Teresa Kovalek, Monet's Crystal Garden artist. There's her card. But yeah, I just really love the colors. She does alcohol painting, which kind of makes them look like watercolors. She also does some demos on her YouTube channel, and I'll have this linked in the show notes too, but there's a card with her YouTube link. So yeah, she shows you how to do it on her YouTube channel, but I just really liked this one. The colors spoke to me, and I collect magnets, so yeah, bought that. Then after I wandered around the Artisan market a little bit, I went into Spun, and I really like that store. It's just really welcoming. It's really well organized. The people are really nice. Not that I don't like the yarn stores around here, but I don't know, I just really, really like Spun. So I have a tendency to try and visit there when I'm in Ann Arbor. I purchased a couple of skeins of yarn there. They also were participating in the Southeast Michigan Shop Hop, so I also got a little bit of a free gift from them as well. The free gift was a couple of stitch markers. I think these are by Katrinkles because they look like what she does with the wood, but they have, one of them has a little sheep. I don't know if you can see that, his little hands up in the air, his little arms, and the other one is the same little sheep with the Spun on it. So I think that's the Spun logo, if I'm not mistaken. So that one says Spun Ann Arbor, and that one's just the little sheepy guy. So those are really cute. And then sorry for the reach again, the yarn I bought there, I did look to see if they had any more of the West Yorkshire Spinners fleece DK that would match what I had already started that one hat in. They did not. They had some West Yorkshire Spinners, but not that particular yarn. So I stuck with the Galway that I had already purchased. But these are 2 skeins of the Nua Worsted Stolen Stitches yarn by Carol Feller. And this yarn is 60% merino, 20% yak, and 20% linen. And it feels really soft. I really like it. I love these colors. This kind of deep red. I know I seem to be in a red and gray mode, as you noticed from the previous yarn purchase. Those also tend to be our high school colors, is maroon and gray, or maroon and white. That's not specifically why I bought these colors, but I do like these colors as well. So those were the ones that kind of called out to me while I was there. The gray is called Kapal. And then the dark red is called Dare You. And these are definitely going to be a hat. I've already picked out the pattern. I'll show you on my iPad here. It is called the Lattice Hat, so you can see that. And it is by Martin Story, is the designer. So obviously I have not started that yet. I haven't wound the yarn up yet. I wanted to show it to you in the skein first. So that will be cast on hopefully in the next few days. And I will hopefully be able to show that to you next time. So that was the end of our adventure over the weekend. After we left Spun, we drove home and got home about 7 o'clock in the evening. That was also daylight savings time that weekend, so we got an extra hour to sleep in on Sunday, which was really nice. And yeah, so we drove home, and marching band season is over for the year, which is fine. It's really fun, but it makes for a really, really busy October. So I think Becca and I are both glad to just be able to relax for a little bit now. Otherwise, other life stuff. What am I currently reading? I finished reading A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir, which was the 3rd book in her Ember in the Ashes series. So I then started the 4th book, the final book in the series, which is called A Sky Beyond the Storm. And I guess I haven't really told you about these books very much. It's a fantasy series. It's a young adult series. Basically, you have the Marshall Empire, and then you have different other types of peoples, and the main character you have a martial character and then a scholar character, Leia and Elias, and they're kind of the two of the three main characters. And they're trying to, you know, the scholars are oppressed by the Empire, and then it's a lot to explain in a couple of minutes here, but I do enjoy it. It takes a lot of concentration for me to read it because there's a lot happening. So I tend to find that I read it in small snippets, and I like to have something else that I'm also reading at the same time, just to kind of give myself a little bit of a break from it here and there. So, but I am enjoying it. I will be, I'm excited to find out how it ends. So that was, that's what I'm currently reading. I have also finished a couple of books since I talked to you last. I was reading Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, which was the first book in her Six of Crows duology in the Grishaverse, and I finished that. I have the second book on hold with my public library. I read ebooks that I either purchase over, use it and read with the Nook app, or read through Libby, through our local public library. The other book I read was one that had been recommended. Well, I saw it on Hannah's bookshelf downstairs, and it looked good. So I put a hold on it, and the hold came in, so I read it. It's called Clara in the Sun, and it's by Kazuo Ishiguro. It was a really good book. It was really different. It was another fantasy type book about Clara, the main character, is what they call an AF, or an artificial friend, which is kind of like a robot companion for kids in this kind of futuristic universe. And the book is told from her point of view, so it was kind of interesting that way. It takes a little while to understand kind of some of the references she's making and things she's talking about, because obviously we're not familiar with the society there. But the author does a really good job of eventually, you know, letting the reader know what's going on and what the references are. So I did enjoy that one also. Kind of looking for something else to read now that I'm finishing the one series. Probably go through some of Hannah's books again and see what she's reading. And then kind of do a little bit of searching on the library app and see what I can find that's interesting. I know I have quite a few books, I think 8 or 9 on hold, so we'll kind of see when those holds come in as well. Let's see, next, exercise, health. Still have not been exercising. I know I should be, but have just still tired, still fatigued, busy these past couple of weeks again with band. So hopefully now that band's over, I'm just hoping I can get some of these medical issues figured out and just start exercising, start eating better. I want to lose some of this weight that I've gained. I lost weight last fall. I did an awesome job of eating, of exercising. I lost 30 pounds, and I have since gained it all back. So I had a COVID weight loss and then a COVID weight gain. So yeah, that's my goal, is to get to lose those 30 pounds, and then we'll go from there and hopefully be able to lose a little bit more, because I would like to lose more than that. But that's the focus right now, is to get back and not so much to lose weight, but just be healthier. I want to be healthier again. That is pretty much everything. I think it's quite a bit. Hopefully, I think this is going to be a little bit on the longer side of a show, and I apologize for that. But you can find me on Ravelry as DebMom3, the number 3. You can find me on Instagram. I'm DebMom3 there is kind of my personal account, or the Sensible Stitcher is more my crafty knitting Etsy shop account. The Etsy shop is obviously the Sensible Stitcher. You can also find me, obviously you're here on YouTube if you're watching this, so it's the Sensible Stitcher YouTube channel as well. So thanks for watching, anybody who is here. I will see you in another couple of weeks, and have a great autumn, a great November, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.